Good afternoon. My name is David Quinti. I just wanted to share this video about my own lived experience journey. Unfortunately, I can't be at the conference today. I was supposed to speak, but I just wanted to sort of share, and hopefully this will help or resonate with people. So basically, I had a gambling addiction for probably 15 to 20 years, mainly sports betting. Started off small like everybody, ended up online. Towards the end, betting on roulette, red or black, no real skill. Probably lost a total of 30,000, probably more, cards, different things, accounts. This today is not really about my story as such, but it's kind of it will resonate. It's a part of what happened to me and a part, I suppose, that made me stop. When I was gambling, I had no idea that anyone knew. I was just started going into it, then obviously got worse. My days became full of gambling, but even then I tried to keep up appearances. I tried to go to work, I tried to attend events, go out, be with my family, and as far as I was aware, no one knew. I was trying to just be normal, even though they call it the invisible addiction. As far as I was concerned, that's the way it was. I wasn't going to tell anyone because I was scared as to what would happen, who would find out, the impact of that, the stigma. So it was quite revealing when it was that actually my son, when he was around 8 years old, told me to stop. And how that happened was, I'll just sort of go into some detail about that, because when you are gambling, you don't think about the impacts, you don't think about the legacy harms, you don't think about the things that will happen when you do stop, because you don't have time for it. Everything's about gambling. When I did stop and I got my counselling from Beacon, who were amazing, as I always say, things started to really hit home about how am I going to pay my debt, all this time I've lost with my family, my situation with work, the impact it had on my wife has affected my children. I didn't comprehend it at the time because I just didn't think about it. But it all came sort of crashing in, and that was difficult. And that's something I wanted to mention because that is obviously an offshoot of harms, and it happens, and we have to be ready for that. But what happened was, I was pretty much well into my gambling addiction when my son found out, and or must have known something wasn't right, because I was betting on an iPad. I was on a roulette on one of the sites, betting probably 150, 200 pounds bets on red or black, losing money quite rapidly. I think it was an afternoon. I'd been drinking a bit of wine. It was quite heavy. And he came in the room and he just looked at me. He looked a little bit, I suppose, dishevelled, a little bit not himself. And he just looked at me and he said, "Would you stop doing that, please? It needs to stop." And I can't tell you what that did at that point. Initially I didn't take it in. I'd always tried to say that I was just on a game. It was just something that, that you get on iPads, an app or something. When he said that, it really rocked me. It felt like it was hit me right in the ribs, and it's something that never went away. When that happened, I burst into tears. I was really upset. He left the room at that point, but I think what was difficult was understanding that somebody knew when I tried to keep it so secret. And I wonder how he knew. I wonder what had made him think that. Was it me just being having more of a bad temper, or maybe being ratty, or maybe not spending the normal time that I would, or maybe there was just signs that I didn't know he was looking and could see. Soon after that I stopped, and I was already lost a lot of money, and I was contemplating stuff, but that was the kind of the final straw for me, and that made me stop about 2 weeks after. He was very much a part of me, I suppose, understanding that actually what I'm doing is damaging people, and the fact that he could see that, the fact that what had that done to him, I didn't know. Was it worrying him? Did he feel upset? Was he talking to people about it? So I stopped, and I got help from Beacon, who were brilliant with me and put me on the right track. I think the reason I want to say this today, and I've mentioned this story a few times, is that I think no matter how difficult it is, or no matter how much you're into it, and how you think you might be keeping it quiet, what I'd like to say is that it might not always be the case, and I think there is signs. There's definitely signs when someone's gambling. You need to look out for those things and spot them early on, because they can be the difference with someone going down this journey, being affected by mental health, losing money, potentially losing work. And it is things like being more sort of distracted, more away, not wanting to do things, maybe not being involved, not in looking at stuff and not actually enjoying it, if that makes sense, not eating normally. There's lots of different things, but that did change me, and that made me stop, and that made me get the help, and then made me carry on now to sort of help others. But I think it's important to know that your journey, with your journey, you're not on your own. And remember that people, even though they may not understand, will want to help. And be mindful that people will know something's not right. And that's not a bad thing, that's a good thing, because it made me the difference, and it made me stop, and it can make others stop. So if this has helped anyone at all, if this has resonated, if this makes sense, or if you know people that may be going through that, or you think they are, then say something, do something. But ultimately, I hire staff my family now, and I'm very lucky. And I talked to him about everything that I do now, all the support that I did. But without that happening, I may have not been here today. I may have gone down a very different path. But it did give me very much understanding that actually, even though we think it's something that you can't see, maybe you can. So I just want to appreciate and say thanks to everyone for listening, and have a great rest of the conference, and have a great day. Thank you.